This is a new day, a new beginning.
Hey guys, welcome back to finally another video, and today we're going to be finally talking about the Ahsoka series. So a couple of days ago these first two episodes of Ahsoka dropped, and today we're going to be talking about it, reviewing it, not necessarily breaking it down, but basically just our overall review on it and just how we enjoyed it and what we take away from it. So stick around because it's going to get crazy. So I thought episode 1 was pretty good. It had a strong beginning with the ship coming down, and basically we got the introduction to Baylan and Shin and them rescuing Elsbeth, which I thought was pretty cool. The reason I thought Baylan and Shin's entrance was pretty cool was because it reminded me of like Obi-Wan Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, or the Sith version of it, the Old Republic vibes, where Malgus and his master come onto the Republic ship like they did in the Return of it. But we got the introduction to them and basically how reasonable Baylan can be, and Shin's like the almost like hot-headed one, but a little bit hot-headed, but not really, because she obeys her master. But I thought Baylan was the comprehensive one, was the base. He was pretty cool. I enjoyed his character a lot in episode 1 because we never really seen him or seen his character before, which was pretty cool to see him. And I thought his hallway scene was pretty cool. It definitely is up there with the hallway scene with Maul, Vader, Luke, and he's the fourth one, I believe, in this entrance of hallway scenes. But yeah, when they rescue Morgan Elsbeth, I thought it was pretty cool because we obviously know she's a Night Sister from the rumors that we hear about, well, the rumors and reports that we got, which was pretty cool. And we basically got this whole rescue mission for Morgan Elsbeth because we know that they're working for Thrawn at this point, which is pretty cool. And after the whole scene with them being on that Republic ship and basically just taking over and taking Morgan Elsbeth with them, we finally get our introduction to our girl Ahsoka, which I think Ahsoka's entrance was pretty cool. It basically, when we got to see her get the little round treasure planet type warp thing, I thought it was cool that it was like an Indiana Jones type deal where she had to figure out the puzzle, and then the droids were there, and well, the HK droids were there, and then when we get to like the boulder scene, like in the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, I thought it was like the whole bomb scene with HK droids and Ahsoka definitely gave me that scene, which I'm kind of happy we got that. I'm more than happy that we got the introduction to Sabine and Hera in this episode, which was pretty cool. Basically just got a layout of all the characters and where they are and what they've been doing since Mando season 2, or basically after the Empire fell, which we finally get a time scale where everything is, which is basically 7 years after the Return of the Jedi, which I thought was pretty cool. The introduction to Sabine was like Top Gun vibes where we got it, which was pretty, which I liked because Dave's taken these, I would say, elements from other movies and putting them into the Ahsoka show, which I thought was pretty cool. And the introduction to Hera was, I would say, a little bit strange because we never really saw Hera in live action, but it grew on me. She really did grow on me in this first episode. And just seeing the world building and where everybody is after the fall of the Empire and everything, which was, I thought it was pretty good. We finally got a basis of where everything was. It wasn't so like inner, like everything's so claustrophobic where we get everybody. It was more like open and wide, and we got to see more of everything and where people are at this point. But episode 1 was pretty good, I have to say. Like, I enjoyed it. There was a gripe, I will say, at the end of episode 1 where Sabine gets stabbed, which I definitely will make another video on that, like so many others have, of why she survived and how she survived. But yeah, that episode 1 was interesting, but the ending was, if give or take, for most people it was they didn't like it because people are getting tired of Sabine being stabbed, which I get it. People are getting tired of people being stabbed, like Reva. Like, we'll get into that in another video, but yeah, it was very interesting. I like how Shin was like Darth Maul in it, with where she grabs where the probe finds Sabine and brings it back and gives Shin the information that she needed. Basically, gave me Darth Maul vibes, where he was tracking Anakin and Qui-Gon. But yeah, when we got this episode, it was definitely like everything's open, it's wide. It's just very like everything's all together. Like everything's open, and it was pretty good. Yeah. Episode 1 was, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Though it would be a 9 if Sabine didn't get stabbed. Like, yeah, that would probably be, if Sabine didn't get stabbed, it would be a 9 instead of 8.5. But hey, you live and you learn, right? So after episode 1 done, it was pretty good. I loved the end credit scenes where it's like almost like Nordic vibes with Dave, which we know Dave loves to grab from other mythologies. But so in episode 2, I thought was a little bit lackluster in the beginning because it was like very slow moving. But with episode 1 and 2, I feel like it's just building up, and then I feel like after episode 3, it's really gonna start taking off, because we know that episode 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are going to be before the epilogue, apparently. And then episode 4, 5, and 6 is going to take 7, 8 is going to take place after the epilogue, which is going to be very interesting to see. But for episode 2, I thought it was very slow moving in the beginning because Sabine survived, and we did get to see like how she survived and where the medic pack was. And yeah, and in episode 2 we finally get to see Hera again, where she's helping Ahsoka find where to go, which is Corellia, which the last time I believe we saw Corellia was in Solo. And it was very interesting to know that Morgan Elsbeth had stuff going on in Corellia, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they were passing some of the shipyards in Corellia, you could tell it was the volume they were using, or maybe, well, definitely it was the volume, because it just looked a little awkward to me. But maybe it's just me, but I noticed it, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it didn't take me out of the episode too much. And with that, it was very more like slow paced, but I will say the action did pick up when they got to Corellia, because when they got to Corellia, it was like everything's gonna happen all at once. When I don't remember what the droid's name was, but the C-3PO looking droid was like, yeah, there's an HK, there was a droid here before that was doing stuff, and it was the exact ship that was taken off, which I found a little bit awkward. It was like, oh, it's that ship that's taken off. I mean, and then once they knew what was going on, Hera and Ahsoka sprung into action and basically just murdered everybody on that on the bridge that was like being in secret for the Empire. But once Hera and Ahsoka found out that they were still working for the Empire, they basically just murdered them, like straight up murdered. And then once they get out, we see Merrick, which and everyone probably believes that Morak is Galen Merrick, which I'll definitely make another video on that, because I have some theories on who it could be. If it is Galen Merrick, I have a cool video coming in store. But yeah, we see Ahsoka versus Merrick, which was pretty cool. I thought it was a good lightsaber fight with Merrick. I'm gonna keep saying Merrick, Morak, and Ahsoka, and it was very like samurai-esque vibes, which was pretty cool. And when Ahsoka's fighting Merrick, we finally get to see Chopper. And Chopper, even without him having a voice or any of his mumbles, we could basically understand him, which was pretty cool. And I feel like Chopper's gonna be a little war criminal in this show again, with racking up lots and lots of kills. But I do think it was interesting that Chopper like when Hera did the spin move to throw Chopper. Well, not throw Chopper, but for Chopper to throw a beacon onto the ship so they know where it was going with the hyperdrive, hyperdrive core, I think, or I don't remember. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. But yeah, with the hyperdrive core, I believe, and basically just tracking them, so because obviously they weren't going to be able to catch them. And then they lose. Well, they get the ball in episode 1, which is why we get to see Morgan and Balin and Shin. And we realize that when Morgan does her Night Sister magic, at that point we finally realize that she is a Night Sister when they were on this other planet. And it was very interesting when we realized that it was the Purrgil were on like a cylinder type thing, like I don't know how to describe it. And then we see that Thrawn is in another galaxy, which I could definitely make another video on that, because I think with this new galaxy, things are gonna change for Star Wars. Maybe not forever, but it's gonna be a big change in the Star Wars universe, I think. But yeah, and they realize that Thrawn is far away, but he's only communicating to Morgan, which is very interesting because we know that he's somewhere in the new beyond, which I'm guessing is this new galaxy. But yeah, when we get back with Sabine, she finally cuts her hair and dons her Mandalorian armor, which we saw from the end of Rebels epilogue, which is interesting because they said that the first 4 episodes are going to be before the epilogue and the last 4 episodes are going to be after the epilogue. So if this is where Sabine is at the end of Rebels, it's very interesting because, one, Ahsoka's not wearing her cloak, her white cloak. She's not having her staff, which I'm kind of mad if he does retcon that, because that was a cool scene, because everybody's going to call him their Ahsoka the White, which is a reference to Lord of the Rings for Gandalf the White, which is very cool. But yeah, in the second episode, I give it still, I believe it 8.5, because it does give that, there was slow points in it, but it didn't build up a lot of more like anticipation towards what was going to happen. But it do give it 8.5 because it did have some cool action scenes. And everyone keeps saying that Ahsoka will save Star Wars. I don't think it's going to save Star Wars because of where Lucasfilm, Disney, and everybody's at. But that's another video for another time. So yeah, that's basically my review on episode 1 and 2 of Ahsoka. And I know it was iffy, but I'm still trying to learn this. I'm still trying to get new to this whole YouTube thing. But I think with time going on and episodes coming out and me getting more comfortable with everything, I think this could be the start of something new. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of episode 3 when it comes out. Let me know what your theories are for episode 3, and let me know what your thoughts are on the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. So that's all I got for now. So may the Force be with you all. Peace out.